Some people wonder who's the most important person in your D&D table. Is it the Dungeon Master? No. Is it the tank? No. Is it the person whose house you're literally playing at? No. We all know the most important person at the table is the one who brings the snacks. Chips, cookies, that weird vegan meatloaf they swear is not that bad. As long as you can eat or drink it, it'll provide you the fuel you need to get through those long sessions at the table. If you're this person in your group, you deserve all the praise. Now let's see if we can make a 7th level character that will bring the same joy to the rest of your campaign. I'm going to start off saying this is more of a meme build than one focused on damage or control. That being said, you will still be able to contribute to downing your enemies because of your regular class abilities. For those of you who want to note the details, here they are. You're going to be a Tabaxi Rogue Monk multiclass with the full hero background. This build is going to be focused on running around delivering healing and anything else our party will need at the moment. You'll be in and out of combat constantly, and your adversaries will have a hard time keeping up with you. Like many of my builds before, this one's going to have a lot of variations based on what you want to focus on, but many of those can be implemented at later levels if you get there. Now that we have the concept in place, let's get to the details. Starting off, I decided to go with Tabaxi for their skills, size, and feline agility. Tabaxis are able to start with proficiency in perception and stealth. This is going to make us really good at noticing important details and getting into places without being noticed. Size matters because of the updated Tabaxis in the Monsters of the Multiverse book allows us to choose to be a small or medium creature. We're going to go with small because of the rules on moving through a hostile creature's space. These rules are, you can only move through the space of a hostile creature if the creature is at least 2 sizes larger or smaller than you. In our case, that means any creature of large or larger cannot fully impede us getting to our destination in a reasonable time. Feline agility further helps us get to our destination faster since we're able to use it in combat to double our movement speed until the end of the turn. We have a lot of uses for this ability because it just resets once we have spent a turn not moving. For our stats from Tabaxi, we're going to pick +2 and +1 and put those into Dexterity and Wisdom respectively. Assuming you're using the point-buy system, I would go with the stat spread of 12 Strength, 16 Dexterity, 14 Constitution, 8 Intelligence, 14 Wisdom, and 12 Charisma. Just remember, in order to multiclass between Monk and Rogue, you're going to need a 13 in your Dexterity and Wisdom. Some of you might be wondering why we need a 12 in Charisma. Well, how else are we going to get a 5-star review? Also, I decided to go with a 12 in Strength to help us with our carry capacity in a feature we get later. For background, I wanted to go with Folk Hero for proficiency in animal handling, survival, and land vehicles. Sometimes you're going to need to deal with someone's dog when doing a delivery, or maybe you'll be in charge of finding your way through the forest, especially since you're going to be the driver. We also get the feature Rustic Hospitality, which means we could typically find a place to hide, rest, or recuperate when we're among commoners, as long as we don't pose them any danger. I think bringing them fresh food and drinks is a pretty good way to get on their good side. Hey, maybe they'll even throw an extra gold in there as a tip. Normally I don't suggest character names for builds like this, but here are some of the ones that came to mind. Dash of the Doors, Feral Express, Prime of the Amazon, or UPS. The first 4 levels of this build are going to be dedicated to going into Rogue. This class gets many features, but the ones we want to focus on are skill proficiencies, expertise, sneak attack, cunning action, roguish archetype, and a feat. Starting off with Rogue gets us 4 skill proficiencies from a sizable list. I would personally go with Persuasion, Athletics, Acrobatics, and Sleight of Hand. From our list of skill proficiencies, we get to pick 2 of them to add twice our proficiency bonus with Expertise. I would first go with Athletics for better grappling and carrying checks. Second, I would go with Persuasion for better interactions with NPCs when we're asking them to give us a review. Of course, we also get the bread and butter of the rogue abilities known as Sneak Attack. At this level, we're going to get an extra 2d6 damage when we hit with a finesse or ranged weapon. This only triggers once per turn and only if we have advantage on the roll or the target has a conscious enemy within 5 feet of it. Another good ability we get from Rogue is Cunning Action, which allows us to use Dash, Disengage, or Hide as a bonus action. This is really good if we need to get in and out of danger without using our action. Since we're at least 3 levels into Rogue, we get to pick a roguish archetype. Today we'll be going with Thief for second story work and fast hands. Second story work takes away the extra movement penalty for climbing, and we get to add our dexterity modifier to our running jumps. With our 12 strength and our +3 dexterity modifier, our running jumps will be able to hit 15 feet, which will easily clear many streets or buildings. Fast hands is one of the 3 key abilities we need for this build. This gives us additional options for cunning action to either make a sleight of hand check, use our thieves tools, or take the use an object action. You can enhance your bonus actions even further if you take steady aim from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. This allows us to use our bonus action to get advantage on our next attack if we have not moved this turn, and we will have a speed of 0 afterwards. If we are going to be resetting feline agility by having to stop, we might as well benefit from staying still. The second key feature comes from the feat we get at 4th level, Healer. This feat turns what is normally a pretty mundane item into one of extraordinary abilities. We can take the use an object action to give a dying creature we stabilize 1 hit point, or we can spend an action to expend a use of the kit to restore a number of hit points equal to 1d6 plus 4 plus the creature's maximum number of hit dice. While they can't get the hit points from this feature again until they finish a short or long rest, it is actually a lot of healing for not a lot of money. Since using the healer's kit falls under the use an object action, we can use it as a bonus action because of fast hands. Now, a single healer's kit is good and all, but we're going to need some more speed and defense if we wanted to get into battle faster. For this, we're going to take our final 3 levels into Monk. Multi-classing this many levels into Monk is going to give us some abilities that we can synergize with. First of these will be Unarmored Defense, which gives us an armor class of 10 plus our Dexterity modifier plus our Wisdom modifier if we're not wearing any armor or wielding a shield. Next is Martial Arts, which allows us to use Dexterity instead of Strength for unarmed strikes and weapons that monks are proficient in that lack the heavy property. This feature also allows us to attack with unarmed strike as a bonus action if we attack with a monk weapon, and sets our unarmed damage to be 1d4, also known as our martial arts dice. While this does not bypass the finesse requirements for sneak attack, it does give us more than 1 attack per round without needing to dual wield. 2 levels of monk also gives us a plus 10 to our movement speed with unarmored movement, and the ability to use ki. We get a number of key points equal to our level in monk per short rest, then we can expend these points to modify our bonus actions. Options are to use Flurry of Blows to make 2 unarmed strikes instead of 1 with martial arts, Patient Defense to dodge, or Step of the Wind to disengage or dash, and double our jump distance for the duration of the turn. While the last one does seem like a waste because of cunning action, it does turn our 15-foot running jump into 30 feet. The final level in Monk gets us Deflect Missiles and our last key feature, our Monastic Tradition. Deflect Missile protects us when we get hit by an arrow or a similar projectile because we can use our reaction to reduce the damage by 1d10 plus our Dexterity modifier plus our Monk level. If we reduce this damage to 0, we can then spend a key point to throw it back as if it was a monk weapon. For the Monastic Tradition, we're going to go with the only one I feel fits, the Way of Mercy. This tradition gives us more proficiencies with training in insight, medicine, and herbalism kits. Hand of Harm can turn our unarmed strikes once per turn into touches of death by adding necrotic damage equal to the martial arts die plus our wisdom modifier for 1 key point. Though the most important is Hand of Healing, which we can use an action to spend a key point to restore hit points to a creature we touch equal to our martial arts dice plus our wisdom modifier. We can even replace one of the attacks from Flurry of Blows with this healing without the cost of additional key points. How's this build play at the table? You have pretty average damage when compared to other classes, but you have an amazing amount of utility. Through the various features and subclasses, we are proficient in 10 skills and have expertise in 2 of them. Using Fast Hands from Rogue, we can use nearly every piece of adventuring gear as a bonus action. This could lead to scenarios like covering something in oil and dropping an alchemist fire on it, administering a potion and using our healer's kit, or throwing 2 flasks of holy water at that vampire that's currently grappling your fighter. You have several options with your bonus action, so you'll always be using it. Some examples of what you can do on a turn could be stabbing someone in the face with a short sword for a sneak attack, punching someone else in the face, and then healing one of your allies. Running up to the enemy wizard hiding in the back using feline agility, grappling them, and then dragging them back to your paladin who has not taken their turn yet. Or even going into the fight to deliver a healing potion, moving into cover, and then attempting to hide. You are limited on how often you can heal by your key and your healer feat, working only once per short rest. But you can convert these as bonus actions so you feel like you're not wasting your turn healing instead of dealing damage. The healer's feat is useful in the moment, but I can see swapping it out with Chef for better healing during a short rest and a basket full of treats. You can then deliver these treats to your allies and they can use their bonus actions to give themselves temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. Whichever one you choose, you can just take the other one next time you get an ability score improvement. As for leveling this character in the future, I would probably go at least 11 levels into Monk to heal more with Flurry of Blows through the Flurry of Healing and Harm feature and more key points. I would go at least 7 levels into Rogue for Uncanny Dodge and a 4d6 sneak attack bonus. So, what do you think of this build? What would you do differently? I would love to hear your thoughts or builds I should attempt in the future. Either way, Here's an inspiration for your next saving throw, and I hope you have a nice day.